No, you're not supposed to detain me.
Come on, George. Don't make it. You don't have to make it harder than it is. Let's just come on out, okay?
On a quiet Florida morning, a routine traffic stop would turn into anything but routine. A deputy noticed something unusual, a license plate that didn't look right. What followed was a nearly hour-long roadside debate about law freedom and a belief system that put one man directly at odds with the state of Florida.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
How can I help you?
I'm Deputy Gunn with the Sheriff's Office. I'm interested in your license plate. What's going on with that?
Oh, okay. It's part of the DOT.
Okay.
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm a pastor.
Okay.
With the ministry, and so we're doing the whole. We're separating as far as off of the actual corporation in the United.
Meet George, a pastor, a man of faith, a husband, a caregiver to the elderly. By his own account, a peaceful man trying to get to work. But on this particular morning, George was operating under a very different set of rules than the ones printed in Florida's traffic code.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just traveling piece, so we're not an actual commercial motor vehicle. It's a private entity.
Okay.
So, and that's why it's the right to travel. It's not the whole big citizen thing like that. We're actually non-citizens because we're actually a foreign entity. And so that's why we register with the DOT. So we just let them know, okay, we're just traveling in a private vehicle. It's actually not a motor vehicle, but actual private auto.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license on you?
I don't, because we're turning that in, and because we're separating from that corporate tie. So it's not part of that whole theft protection thing that the motor vehicle department stands for. And we're not traveling in commercial.
Okay. Do you have any sort of identification on you?
I don't have my passport. I do have a license that I haven't turned in yet.
Okay.
His license plate? A piece of paper. Printed. Homemade. His driver's license? In his possession. But he refused to hand it over. His registration? Expired since May. And his explanation for all of it? He was no longer a citizen. No longer operating under the jurisdiction of the United States Corporation. He was simply a free man, traveling privately, in a private automobile.
Point and concern is that I can't prove what you're saying. So first of all, like I said, I'm not familiar with what you're referring to. Sure. So in order for me to confirm what you're saying, I'd like to have some sort of identity from you.
Maybe a supervisor would understand about it as far as that, because it is under UCC code and such.
Okay.
I hope so.
So yeah, I'll just step in close. I can barely hear you with the window just partially open, and in traffic, I can barely hear what's going on. He's been cooperative so far. We got no issues, but he's not going to identify himself. So I'm trying to figure out.
Well, I can verbally say I'm George.
Okay, so you know there's probably about 1 million Georges, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to know exactly who you are. Just saying your name George doesn't identify who you are. We have to be able to positively identify you as your specific identity. Because going by George, like I said, there's 1 million of Georges, okay? We just need a way to positively ID you as your individual self, okay? Do you have anything with your full name or any kind of documentation?
Well, I do, but I don't want to step in under the jurisdiction of the corporation. I was explaining to him.
Okay.
Because I'm just acting as a free human. I'm traveling, going to work, doing that.
So we understand that. So you're in the state of Florida, correct? Right now, we're in the state of Florida, inside the continental U.S.? Okay, you agree with that. So in the state of Florida and the continental U.S., to operate a motor vehicle on public roadway, you have to have a valid driver's license. During a traffic stop, you have to identify yourself to law enforcement. Okay.
Yeah, and my only statement is that I'm not actually operating a motor vehicle.
So
I'm driving a private auto.
It is a motor vehicle. It is a vehicle with 4 wheels and a motor, and it is propelled on the roadway by not your feet. Well, it is a motorized vehicle. Okay.
But by definition, in the UCC codes, even it's a private automobile.
It's not. Okay, you're going by stuff that is written 100 years ago and has changed and updated since the time what you're trying to quote us by. Okay.
No, it really isn't.
Okay.
It's a UCC code. That's what they're going.
So who's talking about?
No, the tag's not legit. It's a paper tag that's not for hire, not for hire.
No, it's not for hire. It's a private automobile, and it's registered with the DOT. It's registered with the DOT.
Okay. Okay. Well, he's going to run the bin. We're going to try and figure out what's going on.
Explain it to you. I'm not sure what you're talking about. I've never seen that tag before, and you're not identifying yourself so that I can prove.
Hey, let's just print it on a piece of paper.
What's that? What? I'm sorry.
If I give you my name, what's that going to prove to you?
That you have a valid driver's license, first of all, and that you're operating under this US code that you're referring to.
Yeah, the US code.
So I understand that you're...
The deputies listened. They questioned. They Googled. And what they found told a very different story. The codes George referenced, the UCC, the FMCSA, the DOT registrations he claimed to have filed, those were frameworks for commercial businesses, not private individuals driving personal vehicles down a Florida highway. George's car? A passenger vehicle, 4 wheels, a motor, operating on a public roadway. By every legal definition the officers knew, that made it a motor vehicle. And operating one in Florida requires 3 things: a valid driver's license, current registration, and proof of insurance. George had none of these, at least not ones he was willing to show.
Do you have a picture of an ID or anything?
There's me baptizing my wife.
Okay, that's not an ID. You may wrap him.
No, I got him.
You got him?
It's George. He just, the registration's expired on this. He has a valid driver's license, but he's refusing to identify himself.
Yeah, because when it expired, I've learned about the private automobile. And
Write him a ticket for expired license registration and be done.
I'm doing the whole trust thing, and so we're just trying to transfer it into that and be peaceful. I mean, I stop and pray for you. I probably prayed for you somewhere down the line. You know, I pray for protection for everybody. We help people. I go, I know it's different because you're traffic, but I'm not committing any crime against my fellow.
You are. You're creating a motor violation.
Crime.
It is a motor violation.
Human being.
A crime. We have crimes. I can arrest people for criminal citations as far as traffic violations. There are criminal citations, okay?
I have not committed a crime against my fellow man.
Okay, we're not saying you committed a crime against your fellow man, okay? A crime against a fellow man is going to be theft, rape, murder, stuff like that. We are traffic enforcement, so we enforce traffic laws.
Right. And
you are violating a current traffic law.
But if you ask your supervisor,
you are violating a current traffic law.
If you ask,
okay, that's fine.
So Giovanni Richard gave him a warning in September for expired tag. His tag expired in May.
So it's time for a ticket today.
And so if you want to give a ticket, then you can give a ticket.
He said he's no crime against his fellow man. I was like, well, no, this is a crime against traffic violations because you're violating.
It's a traffic violation, but that's if I'm operating with motor vehicle commercial.
Let's have a discussion because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
You hold a valid driver's license.
Yes, and I'm turning that in right now with the plate.
Yes.
So that's what I'm in the process of doing, is to severing that and to do that.
Okay, but all this charade of...
Well, it's not really, because what I'm doing is, as a human being, I'm deciding, okay, I'm just going to operate privately. I'm not going to hurt anybody. I know those are snow rises.
But here's the thing. If I give you a ticket, first of all, you're still refusing to identify yourself. I found your identity, even though that's not... Right, but I'm saying you're by law required to identify yourself. You could be arrested for that. Let me just go through what's going on here, okay?
I mean, I've got it. I told you I've got it with me.
Then why wouldn't you provide it?
That's why I'm concerned.
No, I was just because I wanted to explain it to him as the whole freedom thing. Because what happens is,
okay. So you're saying I'm going to pause you for a second. You're saying you said you're trying to operate freely. This, that, blah, blah. Why are you carrying a valid driver's license?
Because I haven't finished the whole process yet. I'm learning about it and I'm transferring it. It's like
okay. So you're new to the whole system, so you really don't have 100% idea what you're trying to explain.
Yeah, no, actually, I've been studying for a while now.
So you're carrying a valid driver's license, so that means that you have agreed at some point in your life that you're going to follow Florida law.
Unknowingly, because I didn't realize.
Well, so that's where we're at.
You're almost 60 years old, though.
But I'm not acting commercially right now.
Nobody said you're acting commercially.
But that's what, if you look at it, your whole traffic code, it's all commercial.
No, it's not.
It's the uniform commercial code.
It's not.
The United States
insurance for the vehicle?
I'm sorry?
You have insurance for the vehicle?
Yeah, it's super progressive.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could call them and get a thing again, because again,
you don't carry that with you?
I was sending that all in. No.
So here's my concern here. Yeah. Okay. So we still have not resolved the situation where you were warned last September for your expired tag. It's still expired. You've now put
Well, and
fraudulent paper license plate on
Well, no, it really isn't. That's
It
what
is
I'm saying.
fraudulent.
I'm s-
It doesn't populate into any database. That means it is fraudulent.
No, it just means it's not registered commercial.
No, it means it is fraudulent. And if it does not populate to your motor vehicle or a motor vehicle, it is a fraudulent plate, which is a felony in the state of Florida.
But here's where the situation shifted from a traffic violation to something far more serious. That paper plate on George's car in the state of Florida, displaying a printed piece of paper with numbers that don't register in any law enforcement database. That's not creative legal maneuvering. That's a felony, a counterfeit tag, a falsified document. And George had a dozen copies of it in his car.
I'm just traveling and I'm trying to.
Because my concern is he's already been stopped for this once.
Well, that,
And now he's put in front.
And since
You can
then-
hit him for the felony
And
and be done with it.
since then, that's why I'm actually started the process. Because since then I'm like, okay, I shouldn't re-register it. I need to go through this process. So that's what it is. I'm in the process of.
He was over on 41. You want to see if he can kick over here?
Yeah, because I don't think that. So I don't think a ticket is going to resolve this matter. You know what I mean? Like his tax.
Anybody can travel. It's honestly, again, it's a free, like you as a flesh and blood, you should be able to travel and walk and ride anywhere you want privately.
Okay.
You shouldn't be inhibited. If you're inhibited, then you're a slave.
Okay.
And you're not free to do those things.
So what point in your life did you decide to convert to this belief?
Well, it's not converting to a belief. It's just I've learned about it. I've been since 2001. I've been, saved and born again. So I actually serve God. I serve people. I serve the elderly. I pray for folks.
Okay.
I do no
Okay,
harm to my
being
fellow.
saved and praying and all that stuff, that is a religious belief. That is not a
Right.
freedom
so
on the
I've
roadways.
extended that so that I've learned about the actual UCC codes
Okay.
enough to see that, wait a second, we are privately and we can operate privately ourselves. We can walk and do those
You
things.
can walk wherever you want. A motor vehicle is a right and privilege. It is not your freedom.
If you do, well, it actually is. If you're
It's not.
under the corporation.
No, so the motor vehicle traveling on public roadways is not a freedom. It is a right. It is something that is allowed and provided to you as long as you follow the laws and the guidelines that are provided.
What you just said is actually perfect. You're absolutely right. It is a right once you're a part of the corporation.
It is a right. So it is a right. So if you follow the rules and guidelines that give you the right to operate your motor vehicle, then yeah, you can operate a motor vehicle on a roadway. Part of that is involved in the state of Florida specifically is 1, you have to have a valid driver's license. 2, you have to have registration for a vehicle. And 3, you have to have insurance for that vehicle. So far, you do not have registration for this vehicle. You have not provided insurance for the vehicle. And you will not provide your ID. You made us take the long way around to figure out who you actually are. Okay? So
I told you honestly who I was.
you told us your name was George, and I told you there's probably 1 million Georges in the state of Florida. That does not ID you. That is not your physical,
like I said,
personal ID.
Everything you just said is absolutely true if you're under the corporation of the United States.
Do you live in the United States?
Well, what I'm choosing.
Are you residing in the United States?
No, I'm not residing there.
Okay. Are you traveling in the United
I
States?
reside here in the spirit.
Okay. Are you traveling in the United States?
I'm not traveling by
You just told us you were traveling.
Not of the UCC code.
You just told us you were traveling.
I'm actually.
Can you decide if you're traveling or not
I'm
traveling?
not commercially traveling.
You are traveling.
I'm moving my body.
Are you walking on 2 feet or are you driving a motor vehicle?
Doesn't matter. I'm moving.
You're
from one
operating
place
a
to
motor
another.
vehicle, correct?
No.
Okay,
that is
yes.
not correct. I'm
This
not operating
this is a motor vehicle.
By definition, go to UCC code.
Okay, well, we're not UCC. This is Florida. We follow Florida code, okay?
Well, Florida
States,
is under the
no,
under
states.
commercial code.
So, okay, you have your levels of government if you want to go all through your governments. You have your federal government, you have your state and local governments. State and local governments are what you have to follow. State and local can trump over top of your federal governments.
If you're part of that corporation.
Okay, so you just said you agreed with it, now you don't agree with it.
No, I agree that that's true if you're stepping into that corporation.
Okay, you're in the state of Florida. So the
not
state of
already in-
Florida requires you to have that stuff, and you don't want to provide that stuff.
As a person identified as a commercial unit of the corporation, but I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm now trying to say, okay, I'm functioning as a flesh and blood
So
human.
I'm just going to give you a tidbit of information. Okay, you can take it however you want. So that piece of paper that you have that has a private property number on there, that is what we call it. The state of Florida considers that a fraudulent tag or counterfeit tag. which is a felony in the state of Florida and is an arrestable offense, okay? Because it is not proper registration. It is a falsified document to say you have the for registration for a vehicle, okay?
Yeah, I'm not saying
And then having multiple copies of it is the felony alone, okay? So in the state of Florida, having a piece of paper with random numbers printed on it that do not register back to a vehicle is classified as a felony, okay?
He's at 19th. 19th in the interstate.
I need to pull that off together so I can see one thing.
So his body is traveling.
I called Hess just to let him know. He said 10:15.
Yeah.
I figured we just wait for the sergeant. Because like I said, my concern is if you give him a ticket, he's just going to drive from here.
He's going to drive from here. He's not going to pay the ticket. Then he's going to get stopped again.
Did he show you proof of insurance?
He won't show me nothing. He still can't find his UCC code. So.
The stuff.
He was going to provide that?
Yeah, the stuff.
He doesn't have it.
The stuff that I googled is literally for commercial.
It's for
commercials, businesses.
Despite nearly an hour of patient conversation, despite multiple warnings, despite every opportunity to simply hand over his ID and drive away, George was placed in handcuffs. His car was towed. His wedding ring was removed. His phone was powered down. And a pastor who said he just wanted to travel in peace was headed to jail.
All right, George, will you do us a favor? Will you step out and have a chit chat?
Can't I discuss right here?
No, we're going to get out of the car, okay, George? Okay, come on.
No, you're not supposed to detain me.
Come on, George. Don't make it. You don't have to make it harder than it is. Let's just come on out, okay? Come on. Okay, George, out of your car.
Stop reaching for things, okay?
Phone's going right here on the roof. Phone is going on the roof. Okay, do me a favor. Face the vehicle.
Face the vehicle.
For what?
Face the vehicle.
I'm cool.
Hands behind your back.
Wait a minute. What?
No, hands behind your back.
This is detainment.
It absolutely is detainment, okay? We'll explain everything here in just a minute. Once we get you cuffed and get you searched, we'll explain everything for you, okay?
I've prayed with you before. I'm just a pastor trying to learn the new UCC codes.
Okay. Do you have any weapons on you?
No.
Any drugs?
No.
Okay, we'll take this side. It looks like you're all good to go. No weapons.
No.
So we've already explained the reason for the stop. Okay. So we don't have to explain that again. Now you're being detained for refusing to identify yourself. Okay, that's a
I
misdemeanor.
just showed him right there.
Okay. Well, we asked you several times. You did not give it to him.
I showed the IDs right there.
I also asked you for registration and insurance. And did not provide that. Okay. Now you've committed a felony, like my partner explained to you, by putting a fake license plate on your vehicle.
It's not fake.
It is probably, yes. And I asked you to provide me some sort of information that says that you abide by this code, which you did not do that. When I Google it and look up some information,
UCC codes.
yes, that
definition of motor
applies
vehicle?
to commercial
Yeah,
vehicles
this is
and
commercial.
businesses. This is a passenger vehicle. It's not a commercial vehicle. Okay, the
Right. This is a
not,
private vehicle. When I
but
did
you're
the
operating on a public roadway. Okay, does that make sense?
But everybody is free to travel.
Okay.
As a human
Did
being,
you
you
have a
know.
call for a cage?
Yeah, I just hollered. I think
Okay.
kilo 41 or somebody's coming. Okay.
So if you want to relax, you can lean up against
You
the
can
car.
turn around and lean against your car, okay?
We've already explained this to you multiple times. Okay, so the decisions I made, you're going to be going to jail for refusing to identify yourself. I did identify you through your.
It's
Let me
right
explain.
there.
But listen, you did not identify yourself at first. Okay, you've also been warned for your registration that's been expired. So if I give you a ticket today, I know that you're not going to get your registration fixed because you're already telling us that you don't operate under that law, if you will, because you don't believe that you need to operate under that.
It's private. I'm trying to go through that process. That's all. I mean,
Whatever
I can
process
put
you're
the
referring to.
paperwork together. I said, give me the ticket.
It's
and
not
I'll
a valid
put it together
process.
and take it to the judge.
It
I'll
is not
do
a
that.
valid process that is recognized in the state of Florida underneath transportation, okay?
That's
Well,
because
that wasn't what I
it's
said.
private.
Yeah, as I explained to you though, your piece of paper that is on your vehicle, it is a fraudulent or fake tag. In the state of Florida, it is a felony, okay? It is a felony to produce a piece of paper to falsely identify a car. That number is, when we run the numbers on your vehicle right now, it is not populating in any system, okay? That means that it is not an accurate number.
Federal motor safety. It doesn't pop in there.
No,
It's the trust.
because it's
the
not a
absolute
valid.
trust.
It's not a valid system. Okay, it's not. Okay.
But what's, I mean, who have I harmed?
As I explained to you, you're not. Stay over
That's
this
what I
way.
know. I want
As I
the phone
explained to you,
record this.
there's cameras recording you all the way around.
Well, but who's my
As I
damage
explained to
party?
you, you keep saying there's not a crime against a person.
As a private individual.
I told you, you're not committing a crime against an individual. You're violating traffic violations, okay? Traffic violations, because you're driving operating a motor vehicle on a public roadway in the state of Florida. My job and that gentleman's job's over there. Our main job is traffic enforcement. We follow the rules set by Florida. We enforce the rules set by Florida, okay?
They don't fall under the Uniform Commercial Code.
So I'm not going to answer because he's saying everything right. If he says something wrong, I'll answer. So far, he's doing everything perfect.
No, and I know that's true. I'm just asking. You know why we have to
Uniform
be
Commercial Code.
He knows his stuff, so I'm not going to answer for him. He's doing a good job.
It's commercial equipment, okay?
Right.
You're classifying it, but you told me this is your personal car for you to transport yourself, okay?
I'm just
so it is
privately.
It is a privately owned vehicle for transportation.
When you do the
It's
registration,
classified as a passenger vehicle or passenger car, correct? Is it?
sorry.
Isn't it?
Say again?
It's a passenger vehicle or passenger car is what we're going to classify it as.
It's a private automobile.
Okay, it's an
It's not a
automobile.
motor vehicle.
Okay, so now we got back to that.
They do define it differently, like in the code,
Okay.
even in the Florida code, because they use the federal commercial.
Okay, so the UCC, like I said, you keep referring back to the UCC. You're not. He's tried looking it up. You told us you're going to provide documentation. You never provided any documentation.
I thought I said I think I might have a copy of it in here.
And like I told you, if you're going to follow this belief, if you're going to try to express the belief on that, it's probably best that you have your documentation to back it.
And I need to.
All you have is a dozen copies of a fraudulent tag, is what you're wanting to call it. Okay, that's all you have. There's a dozen copies of the same
It's
thing.
identification. I thought
It's
that
not
identified
identification.
with the Federal Motor Safety,
No,
which oversees all of it. I thought. That's right. I think it does.
it does not. You're in the state of Florida.
I
Within
don't.
the United
That
States.
doesn't fall under the federal.
You're in the state of Florida.
I'm trying to figure this thing out and just say, okay, I'm not hurting anybody. I don't want to be enslaved to every system. That's all.
Okay, George, somebody's going to pull up and you're going to be going in their car. Is there anything you would like to take with you? Phones, wallet, anything like that?
I need.
You can only take very minimal things. We're going to take phones, wallets, IDs, something like that. Anything you take with you has to have your personal name on it.
Why am I being taken away?
We've already told you that. We've already explained this to you, okay?
No, I mean, what's the next step? What's the solution?
You're going to go to
Why is it-
jail is where you're
why?
going, okay? He explained that to you already.
Because you didn't actually take my license?
No, not because he
My
didn't take your license.
identification?
We're going to go over here.
No, I need my stuff.
Okay, come on.
We'll get your stuff.
George, we'll get your stuff.
It's okay.
Did I close the window and stuff?
We'll take care of everything. We'll take care of everything. We'll take care of everything.
It's my phone.
We'll take care of everything. We'll get what you need to
The red
get.
bag.
Yep, we'll get what you
I
need
gotta
to
close
get.
the windows.
We'll take care of it
We'll take care
Why
of
can't I
it.
park the car on the side?
because you're not driving anymore.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what's the
Okay,
next step.
that's why I'm asking you a question. You're going to be going to jail, okay? What would you like to take with you? You're very minimal. So usually phones, wallets, stuff like that. The next is you're going to go to jail. You're going to go through the booking process, and then you're going to decide what you're going to do from there. Whether you're going to go take this to court
I
and
don't know how
fight
to
it,
open this.
or-
This is recording.
Yes.
What's going to happen?
No, please explain that to me some more.
Turn it off.
Yeah, I would run it home.
I don't know how to.
Can I? No.
So we turn phones off. That way they're still powered. So when
I
you
was
get to
trying to get
jail,
the
they'll
case
eventually
off.
at one point they're going to give you access to your phone, so you can get 3 phone numbers out of it. Okay. Do me a favor. Step close to our vehicle. Is there anything on you that might poke, stab, or cut her?
Is there a way I can get this
Yeah,
necklace off?
it should.
You have to take my necklace.
Because you can't wear that into the jail.
Yeah, you'll get it back.
Does anybody have an Android?
Oh yeah.
We can deal with it later.
Okay. Don't hand me an iPhone. I don't know what to do with those. He's not with you. You're taking everything out of your pocket. Yeah, we have to take everything off, okay?
I don't want to take my wedding ring off.
You can't wear anything into the jail, okay? Everything has to be put in your personal property there.
So what?
Here.
What time frame? What do we do?
Hey, do me a favor. Have it climb on in there. And then when you get in, I need your feet facing out, okay? She has to take your shoes off and search inside your feet. Just make sure you don't have any kind of contraband, okay?
This isn't that comfortable as the front seat.
Nope, you're on a hard piece of plastic back here, unfortunately.
No, I know.
Your car is getting towed, so if there's anything of value, we need to know what's in there. That way,
Get told. I have somebody come get it.
the only person that can pick the vehicle up on the side of the road is the registered owner. Ironically, you're the registered owner and you're going to jail. You can't pick up your own vehicle when you're going to jail. Okay?
So
George wasn't a violent man. He wasn't a dangerous man. He was a man who had fallen deep into a belief system, one that sounds compelling on the surface, but holds no legal standing in any American courtroom. The sovereign citizen philosophy has drawn in thousands of people across the country, people searching for freedom, for autonomy, for something that feels like truth. But on a public road, in the state of Florida, on an ordinary Thursday morning, freedom still has a speed limit.